Hello everyone and welcome to another high-low game of Age of Empires. Today we've got a battle of the extra startup villagers as Vivi playing as the Chinese in red with that ridiculous line of sight on their town centers prepares to take on Mr. Yo playing as the Mayans in blue. Now while the players heard their herdables explore their immediate surroundings a little bit easier for some than others and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, not a bad time for us to take a look at the Civ matchup we are going to be watching today. Now, the Chinese are a well-rounded civilization whose economic bonuses and strong tech tree mean a player has lots and lots of options on how to crush his or her enemies. To start with, all technologies get progressively cheaper, starting in the Feudal Age, all the way up to 15% cheaper in Imperial. Their farms seed with 10% more food. Their town centers support 15 population space instead of the usual 5, and come, as I mentioned in the beginning of the game, with +7 extra line of sight, which means you see a good number of your starting resources, in this case gold, wood, and food, right from the very beginning of the game, and you do hit the ground running by starting every game with 3 extra villagers, but 200 less food and 50 less wood. That help defend the Chinese economy from raids. All walls and towers can be upgraded to get more HP, and the extra line of sight on your TC means you see enemies and enemy scouts, more importantly, in the early stages of the game. Where are you? There you are, coming from a mile away, and you can garrison your villagers, keep them safe a little bit quicker. Now, on the field of battle, the Chinese can field all top-of-the-line infantry units, although without the supplies upgrade, be prepared to pay a little bit more for your champions. Their foot archers, their skirmishers are also pretty decent, especially if you mix in their unique unit, the Chukanu. This is a foot archer that fires multiple arrows, can be upgraded to get a +2 attack. I believe a fully upgraded Chukanu elite with rocketry does fire on a massive 14 attack on that first arrow, which for an archer unit is a ridiculously powerful attack. Now, while the Chinese cavalry is good, it's their siege that can be a pain in the butt to fight, since their scorpions can also be upgraded to get a +4 attack boost. Now, those scorpions hungry for blood and death and mayhem might be looking northwards, where Mr. Yo is playing as the Mayans, a civilization that pushes its players towards archer units. Mayan skirmishers can be upgraded to throw a second, albeit weaker projectile. Their foot archers, except for the skirmishers I just mentioned, become progressively cheaper as the game goes on, 10 to 30% off in Feudal, Castle, and Imperial. And that, by the way, that discount also applies and helps them mass their unique unit, the Plumed Archer. This is the fastest foot archer in the game, and one that comes with a small attack bonus against infantry. Now, to support their ranged units against the enemy, Mayan walls are 50% cheaper, so archers can stay safe behind a lot of them, and your eagle warriors can actually get a massive 40 extra HP, meaning a fully upgraded Mayan elite eagle warrior comes with 100 HP. Now, to help produce as large an army as possible, Mayan resources do last 15% longer, and then we start the game with 1 extra villager but 50 less food. You'll have noticed the eagle-eyed viewers at the top left of your screen, where the research technologies are shown in this user interface, that the Mayans do start the game generally on random map housed, and so Mr. Yo researching loom immediately as he builds and constructs his first housing, and then once that is complete, he begins pumping out villagers. So we've got an interesting matchup of civilizations that on paper are fairly, I don't want to say similar, but similar-ish. You've got, like I said, a battle between civilizations that start with extra villagers. One starts with 1 extra villager, one starts with 3 extra villagers, but a whole lot less food and 50 less wood. Then you've got your unique units, which are pretty much some of the coolest foot archer units, if not the coolest. I shouldn't say that. Big shout out to the rattan archer, of course, and the Genoese crossbow. There's a lot of cool foot archer units in this game, but these are some of the coolest. The Mayan plumed archer being the fastest, the lightest on its feet. The Chukanu, who the hell doesn't want to see Chukanus every time we see the Chinese play? And then more importantly, walls. One has an upgrade that makes your walls 30% thicker. One has an upgrade that basically is buy one, get one free on your walls. Both palisades and stone, by the way, and both gates of those. So 4 different types of walls, I guess, if you want to be super duper specific about it. So I'm pretty damn excited. Vivi's been on a bit of a roll lately, although Mr. Yo never discount. If anyone can stop your roll, it is Mr. Yo. For now, though, let's take a look at the actual map, and let's see as the players both head up and will hit the next age fairly quickly off the back of 19 and 20 villagers what the actual attack path between them looks like. Looks like Vivi, whose name I might be mispronouncing. I know there's been a few comments. Vivi. I can't really tell the difference that badly that it makes me want to change how I pronounce his name, but Vivi has one forest in his forward position here, nice and thick, which means lumberjacking here might be pretty good for him unless he doesn't secure this part, because this is basically one tree width difference. So any archer unit, even with even without fletching, would have a bit of a difficult problem, as Mr. Yotif's a goat. Okay, well, there we go. Shenanigans already beginning in the game nice and early. Let's take a look at our Chinese base. 2 patches of gold nice and secure to the back. Extras, or rather primary stone and gold kind of in the forward position. Depends if Mr. Yo's the one aggressing. If he goes left, he'll attack the stone. If he goes right, he'll attack the gold. And then the second patch of stone, the 5th of the 5 starting resources off to the top right. Forests, aside from that one we just looked at a second ago, not very helpful in any kind of wall-off scenario here. This is pretty much an open base on the left side, where, by the way, he's got 3 of the 5 resources all lined up nice and juicily for our Mayan, who himself, gold and stone primary. X marks the spot to the back of the base. Extra gold, extra stone to the forward position. And where's his 3rd patch of gold? Nice and secure to the rear. Okay, so that's... I don't know if Mr. Yo is going to discover that or attack that, but for now, wait a second. We've got 4 scouts chasing one unfortunate Mayan scout as he runs as fast as he can. Unfortunately, he is on 2 legs and not 4, and so he gets got. First kill of the game going to Vivi, who draws first blood, but wait a second. Revenge is a dish best served immediately afterwards. Piping hot, says our Mayan. And he guns down a scout of his opponent as well. And now a spearman is going to poke the horse's ass and scare these 3 remaining scouts away. Now, with 1 scout already at half HP, I don't think Mr. Yo is going to be very eager. Rather, Vivi, my apologies, is going to be very eager to engage into the spearman. Forests for Mr. Yo. A bit of a flanking. I love that these are big, thick forests today. This is reminding me not so much of Arabia as it is of Runestone, where you start with 4... I wouldn't say they're this big and thick and juicy, but you start with 4 decent-sized forests. Oh, he does risk it because he's got 4 scouts. He sends the weaker one to go after the villager, and all of a sudden, we've got a villager here behind the mill. Oh, he steps out of the mill just in time to get got. And Vivi takes the kill lead 3-1. Now he's prowling. The quicker fingers do not respond too quickly right now. This might be another dead villager here. This might be 2 dead villagers here. Oh, but Vivi knows he's about to get walled in. And so immediately, oh, wait a second. He does get the 3rd. What the hell is going on the other side of the map? Looks like Mr. Yo's army didn't really get too much done. This 1 kill is probably, yeah, still just the 1 kill. So that is not probably, but most definitely that 1 blue scout that died somewhere here on the map. And Vivi, like I told you, he's been on a bit of a roll lately. He has been taking on all the big names. Not that he himself is not a big name, but what did I hear just get deleted? It must have been the Palisade Gate here. And Mr. Yo's army, housed for a minute at 40 supply, is being pushed back by a bit of a skirmisher force. Will Vivi bring these scouts as well? Will he sandwich? There are still 2 spearmen here, but they are very not at 100 HP. 100% HP. That being said, speaking of not being at 100% HP, look at 2 of these scouts. What's this 5th one, the 6th one? Okay, now he might risk it. Mr. Yo, never shying away from a massive wall off, has already walled the western portion of his settlement. Wall up going into the eastern portion of the settlement. And let's see where our Chinese decides to attack. He's going up the right side. Has he seen the wall off? So he's seen the 2 houses here. I wonder if he suspects Mr. Yo's already walled this area off, if he's already seen a bit of a blockade. And now what is he going to do? He's going to try to lead Mr. Yo's army to the rear as the skirmishers show up. Villager is kind of weak, but he is focusing on the gold intensive units. Mr. Yo does have a whole bunch of 10% discounted archer units of his own, but you know what? 3 skirmishers for 1 archer, not terrible. Even at a 10% discount, that is still what, 41 gold, depending on where the rounding goes in Age of Empires. Oh no, oh no. Back to the site of his former massacre of 2 villagers. First, I was gonna do a Scarface impression. I was gonna say first you get the spearman, then you get the villager, then you get the power. But he gets a spearman, loses a scout, does not get a villager, and so no power for these scouts as this guy survives with 5 HP. Oh, apologies for that atrocious Scarface impression. Vivi is laying siege to the foundation on the right. He's laying siege to a market. Damn your commerce. Damn it. Oh, Mr. Yo. I love it. Saving his villager here with the quick tripart wall off as more skirmishers are being sent forward. Where are you and what are you doing? Full HP scout. I mean, Mr. Yo has evened up the kill count 7-7. Unfortunately, he's lost 3 villagers against a player who starts normally with 3 extra villagers compared to you, but when you're playing against the Mayans, it is really just 2 extra villagers. By the way, Vivi, with the 19 seconds of TC idle time, that's what he had going up to Feudal. So he has had 0 idle time on his TC for the last literal 10 minutes or so, more than 10 minutes. Monsieur, though, is en route, housed again as he is to Castle Age. He's maybe overstaying his welcome here with these scouts, but they are getting an amazing amount of information right now. Not that these skirmishers are not either. We've seen the double range, the market, all of it. Well, the market not so relevant, but the double range more relevant. But yeah, Mr. Yo's getting explored up the wazoo. Vivi's scout to the left, his skirmishers in the center, scouts to the right. My apologies for zooming out so much, but ooh, okay. Look at him threading the eye of the needle here. I'm surprised the villagers didn't pounce into action and attack those scouts. That could have been 3 dead scouts. And now our Mayan is in Castle Age immediately. Crossbow, where's the old Botkin when he can afford it combo? Now his archer units are 20% cheaper. Skirmisher will annoy, but not really kill these villagers. Oh, wait a second. There's a very weak one here. 4 HP, a bit of a missed opportunity there by our Chinese in red to maybe get that one villager who gets reassigned to chop lumber over here as the last of the internal scouts bites the dust. Now, this is where I am curious to see the game go. I want to see what is going to go, what will be on the menu here for these 2 civilizations in the Castle Age. We see obviously 18 crossbows en route for our Mayan, not a big surprise. The question is, will we see eagles? I believe this might be, why did I think this was one eagle? An eagle scout. No, it's a goat scout. But will he add in eagles? And more importantly, what will the Chinese player do? Because now their technologies are 10% cheaper, which doesn't sound like much, but it does allow you to pivot from one branch of the military to the other. It does allow you to respond very, very quickly. Oh, no, not like this. Not like this. Not in the minimum range. Oh, well, there you go. The lion, the skirmisher, and the wardrobe. So 1 eagle out, another eagle being trained. The Mayans, you kind of obviously figure what they're going to go with. It's usually a combination of these 2 units, if not just a full-on death ball and a plumed archer. But the Chinese, will they go cavalry? Will they go archers themselves? Now it looks like a bit of a mix of both as a knight braves an entire army group and gets exactly what you get when you brave an entire army group on your own, which is pretty much a bunch of bolts into your body and ultimate death. Looks like a bit of a 1 versus 1 situation here with 1 unit dying apiece. And now he's in the rear with skirmishers, but no trade here is good for Mistrio. He's going up to Eagle Warrior. Our Chinese player continuing to train knights. Looks like he's shooing away the force to the front of the base after a bit of a scuffle here where there's some Feudal Age units have bitten the dust. It looks like Mistrio still has 1 spearman from a time long gone, whereas our Chinese player has full-on embraced Castle Age. Cleans up the Eagle Warrior, but now the Eagle Warriors actually come with decent attack bonuses, not perhaps the highest, but so many of them. Camel, cavalry, monk, siege. Not really expecting to see any ships this game, but what can you do against 120 Bloodlines Knights? It's just so tanky in terms of both HP and base armor. that they can just absolutely slaughter these individual units. That Mysterio seems content on streaming right into the maw of death itself. But here we go. The old sniper line on the monk as he makes his way to the forward portion of the battlefield, gets the conversion, and now the knight rather is going after the skirmishers. So RNG working very much in Mysterio's favor there. Ooh, another lion. Another lion, this time attacking a pack of crossbows, is not going to get too much done. So army count's identical. Our Mayan is down 12 villagers, a second TC up for our Chinese player next to the forest. Okay. So he's not really going after these extra resource patches on the left side, and he's not really securing the left side of his base. Ooh, I apologize. I missed an absolute slaughter of Mayan crossbows, but at 20% discount. Slaughter with a little less, lowercase s, as at the 27-minute mark of the game, the players disengage from one another. Monastery for Vivi as well. Mysterio, have you gathered any relics yet? No, you haven't. Have you seen any relics? Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Where's the 5th? Has not seen this one to the right of Vivi's base. Vivi himself has seen 1, 2, 3, has not seen this also same relic, and also hasn't seen this one, which is literally right here. I always love when that stuff happens. It's so ridiculously sour. One little tile away, and Vivi would have seen 4 relics. But let's see. Does Mysterio have the numbers here? Might want to send the skirmishers first. Eagle gets a little bit stuck here, but oh no. 1 monk down. 2 monk down. 3 monk down. Okay. Gets them before he gets converted. And Mysterio now walled. I don't even know if this is fully walled in. Why do I feel like there's a gap between this house and this archery range that's not being exploited? Oh, never mind. There is, but it's covered with a palisade here. The old optical illusion of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. And Vivi shoves into the base right as Mysterio shoves into the flank of his with eagles and crossbows, but no kills. It doesn't look like, at least not that I caught. Yeah, no economic kills just yet. What are the upgrades on these units? No attack upgrades on the eagles, 2 armor, and 2-1 on the ranged units. Okay. Doesn't matter melee or range. They're both getting cleaned up here by these knights. So our Chinese player relying heavily on the very powerful mounted cavalry unit right now to counter both of the units of the Mayan, who is going now with pikemen, realizing that Vivi has maybe committed 2 knights, switching into pike, not a bad idea. Mayan infantry, I mean, their halberdier line, their spearman line is pretty damn good. I wouldn't maybe go their champions. My apologies, they don't even get champions, but yeah, the militia line probably no supplies, no gambesons, no champions. Might want to avoid that, but in terms of countering knights, pikemen, and halberdiers, should be just fine. Let's see where the extra town centers are for our mine, as one of them gets kind of mini-lamed. The left side is lamed, right side free to mine. Work the farm. Gets another conversion, does Mysterio. And now he's going to use this knight to distract how many? 6 knights of his opponent. 7, 8. Oh, death under the olive tree. My apologies, death under the dragon tree. Pretty cool place to die, not gonna lie. Another small battle erupting to the rear of the Mayan base. Where's that extra TC? There it is. I like that location next to the stone in the wood. But now with pikemen out, the longevity of the knight line is in jeopardy. Not a lot of spaces here in this area, in this settlement, where these knights can move unharassed by either monk, knight, eagle, or either monk, pike, or eagle. Is this walled off behind here? Looks like there might be an alleyway here with the next to the mill. Okay, archery range is down. Skirmisher is dead. 1 last remaining knight inside there. I don't think you need that entire army chasing that 1 unit as a massive Chinese force tries to bust its way into. Vivi is now housed at 110. Mysterio is down about 20 total supply, 15 total supply, depending on when your eyes flicker north on the screen to look at the supplies. But why would you when there's this awesome battle happening here? And it looks like the eagles and the pike have cleared up the majority of the assault. But Vivi still being annoying AF, sends another band of 4 knights. They've got 11 kills, 3 of them villagers. Okay. I mean, one way to lose your army is just to have them stand around doing absolutely nothing. But double teaming a pikeman should be pretty good here. This is a pretty healthy knight. It looks like the attack in the front of the base has stalled as well as Mr. Yo pushes out. We've got a castle drop. Vivi sees it coming from a mile away. You don't need Frankish knight line of sight when you've got a monk here who sees these villagers. How many villagers did our Mayan bring? 13 shall be the number of thy counting. Let's see if they can get something done here. An eagle gets converted. Oh no. That was pretty damn bad for Mr. Yo. 13 villagers have become 9. But he's starting to lose units. And the more units he loses here, the less faith these monks have, the more these villagers can return to the construction site. It looks like that knight has been cleared up to the back of Mr. Yo's base, which means he is free to focus on the front, and in comes perhaps not an Aztec level stream of units with their quicker training time, but a crazy stream of units nonetheless. Although army counts for both players not exactly the highest, 20 to 12. Looks like a bit of a battle here on the left side as eagles unfortunately take the low ground against the knight and a converted eagle on the high ground. Pikemen are trying to kill a monk. The will get it. He does get him. And the castle? Well, the castle's still at 90%. But I think there are enough units here. One knight and one skirmisher are not going to be enough to stop the castle from going up. It goes up immediately, starts firing on villagers. Gold, wood, doesn't matter what. You are all coming under attack here. But no ballistics means that they might miss most of the times they fire. This villager survives to tell the tale. An immediate infrastructure behind this. I love this by Mr. Yo. Plops down the castle, knows that all of a sudden this entire area is a no-go zone for the Chinese. And so what does he do? Okay, you can't go in here. I'm just going to use this area to plop down a bunch of infrastructure. TC going up. Finally, a third one is going up next to the stone. He's finally collecting his secondary gold. That being said, Mr. Yo seems to... Oh, I heard a lion. Mr. Yo seems to be pumping the brakes a little bit here. I guess he's just focusing on attacking these structures. Now, the Mayans are the only Meso Civ that does not get redemption, which means they are not able to convert any of these structures. Looks like there's a bit of a battle here as well. A converted knight and a converted eagle, possibly the ones from that pitched battle up here, do ultimately fall. And more knights are the order of the day for our Chinese player. We are, by the way, firmly ensconced in Castle Age. This is a very cocky castle. Are you kidding me? 4 villagers only? While your castle up here is under attack? That is a very, very aggressive. I mean, we've seen Doubt plop down some incredibly aggressive castles, but this might top the cake here with 4 villagers. I don't know who takes this battle. There's a lot of eagles, but there are more and more knights. Mr. Yo is training 7 knights at a time out of how many stables? Out of 4 stables. So 4 knights are coming out at a time. He's getting, or my apologies. I don't know why I keep saying Mr. Yo. Vivi. Oh, and now his castle goes up first, laming this one at 83%. What the hell is 17% of 650 stone? That is what Mr. Yo will get back if he cancels that castle. So what is that, 110 stone? Ugh, yuck. Yuck, 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 as his forward position crumbles and perhaps his dreams of winning the game crumble. I'm just kidding. I'm just being very poetic. Villager standing around with a hammer until he gets a javelin to the back of the head and then finally does die. Another knight gets converted here for the Mayan. I might not be able to convert your stables, but I sure as hell will convert every single thing that comes out of your stable. And that's it. Doesn't even want to bother trying to reclaim that castle. And now he's buying stone as Mr. Yo. Oh, goodness gracious. Vivi, for his part, says, you know what? I don't want you here anymore. 0 chance in hell that I want you up here. So I'm just going to plop down my own castle. 42 minutes into the game. Scores tell us that Vivi is very much ahead population-wise. He is about, oh my goodness, about 30 population more than his opponent. And that, by the way, is off the back of one less town center, and we've got a Chukanu out. Tell me it's not the coolest unit here. Multiple arrows being fired. The Rams are attacking knights. The Rams are attacking knights. What the actual hell is going on in this game? I guess that's one way to keep your opposing knight in place while your monk converts it, or I guess in this case reconverts it. Or will he get reconverted here? No, never mind. Mysterio abandons that quest, going up to Imperial. He is 3 minutes away. Does not have a castle, unfortunately, to train any Treb, but by the time he hits Imperial, this castle will be up as well. Now he's buying food. So Mysterio not shying away from using the market. Vivi buying food. Vivi selling wood. Is he also? Yeah, he's also trying to go up to Imperial. He must realize, hey, you've backed away. You don't really seem to care that I'm killing monks and gold intensive units here. And now you're plopping down infrastructure. You're getting ready for another push, which means you might be going up to Imperial. And so why don't I do that exact same thing as well, as he expands stone miners to the left, more stone miners to the left. Gold, I mean, look at the mini-map. What the hell is going on? Vivi just is taking incredible risks here. You never know when a convocation of eagles will just show up and start caw-cawing at your freaking villagers and slaughtering them. A very forward castle here. A third one for our Chinese, but does he care? Look how many stone miners. He's got 32 on stone. He basically wants to deplete the stone before his opponent can even think about taking it in. The secondary stone patch of the Mayan is now also under attack and lamed and unmineable in its entirety. Mysterio, no more resources to the back. One patch of gold left. Is this the only patch of gold? No, he still has a bit of stone up here. He's got 10 villagers mining gold here, which tells me he's got 9 villagers mining gold elsewhere. What am I must be missing something on the mini-map. Eagles are trying to bust in, but look at this. A whole band of Chukanus. They don't care about town center fire. I'll lose 1 or 2 of these units, if even, says Vivi, but I will get in here. Oh my goodness, even more Chukanus. Mysterio's an Imperial, though. Vivi's still 40 seconds away. And now he's beginning to slaughter villagers to the rear. And look at this, Mysterio's heading out to the stone, but little does he know there's a castle already going up to protect it, and even more villagers coming to mine it from the patch of stone that was here. A town center as well. I mean, Vivi is just absolutely gobbling up this map like it's Monopoly. I'll take James Place, and I'll take, I don't know what else, Boardwalk, and I'll take all of your delicious properties. Farming lamed. Look at these villagers. What even the hell are they doing? This is the gold mine. Okay, I apologize. I didn't see this is where the gold was. So let's see what's going on around the map, because this game has become incredibly bonkers. Mysterio's just standing and dying here. His villagers have been lamed. A second. Okay, interesting. The band of eagles has finally been cleared up. Mr. Yo is doing what in Imperial Age? It's gone up to Elite Eagle Warrior. And now he's engaging with the Chukanus on the high ground. I mean, these eagles do come, not yet, but they will with 8 pierce armor. And now they clear up the Chukanus. So Mysterio, the king of holds, seems to have held yet again, but the question is for how long? Both players again have been knocked down in terms of army count, 20 to 15, but look at the villager lead. Look at Vivi all of a sudden just engulfing the map. Look at the mini map. Aside from Mysterio's spy goat. Sorry, I like the goat sound. What can I do? Aside from that, Vivi has total control. And now his knights are cavaliers. Chemistry, conscription are going to cause a lot of problems here for our Mayan, whose last remaining castle is about to fall as Mysterio runs out of stone. In come the Cavaliers. They do not have all the attack upgrades. They do not have blast furnace, but they are fully armored, which means they should handle these eagles pretty well. Elite Eagle Warrior bonus against cavalry does jump up to a 4. Unfortunately, this is 4 out of 140 HP. And here we go. Eagles, some of them on the high ground, it looks like. But there's Chukanus behind us doing what little damage. I say what little damage, not really that little. But he's hasn't upgraded them fully. trebuchets are firing on the Chukanus in a last-ditch effort here. Oh no, now he's going after the monk. He gets the monk. And that's all she wrote. Wow. I mean, this game has just been non-stop from minute one. From the moment that one, where was it? That one Eagle scout got sniped somewhere here. I think it was somewhere here, not somewhere here, but somewhere here. It has just been non-stop action. I mean, the army counts, I think the highest army count I saw this entire game was 30. And not because the players weren't fighting. The players were just constantly non-stop fighting. Look at the kill counts. 46 villagers to 18, almost 300 kills to almost 200 kills in a 51-minute game. That is pretty damn bonkers. Yeah, I was originally looking at the army count saying, yeah, it's not very exciting. 25 supply, 15 supply. But no, it's 15 and 25 because they're constantly fighting and constantly losing units all over the map. But it is our Chinese in red who just, I mean, let's look at his map vision. Yeah, I mean, he didn't really explore this part of the map. Mr. Yo did take one relic. Vivi did take 3. I don't think he still hasn't seen the relic that's right. Oh, God, now it's here. It's even more sour. That is even more sour. Did Mr. Yo see this relic with all of his various eagle run-bys? No, he hasn't even explored this part of the map yet, sending villagers this way. But they're looking for resources that no longer exist. And Vivi, his economy must just be light years ahead. Let's take a look. Eagle warriors for the majority of the game. Knights for the majority of the game. Pikemen, skirmishers, crossbows, chukanus. Oh, all the deliciousness of both of these civilizations. This is like going to a restaurant. And aside from plumed archers, so getting all the most, the chef's recommended dishes here. Mr. Yo, PKPM right at the beginning of the game. Oh, look at that. Vivi as well, right at the beginning of the game. Okay. Furiously clicking. Relic gold, 1,500 to about 1,200 extra gold. And there you go. What is that? 12,000. So about, what do I want to say? 25% bigger economy for our Chinese. 5,000 more wood, 4,000 more food, a little bit more gold, which is basically the, this is surprising. Just a little bit more gold, which is pretty much the relic. If you remove the relics, actually, Mr. Yo mined more gold. Though remember, again, with the Mayans, the numbers are always a bit wonky because their resources do last 15% longer. So 1,000 gold patch does have, let's say, 1150 gold in it. So, they do get a little, I was going to say a little bit of an advantage, but that's not a little bit of an advantage. That's a lot of bit of an advantage. Pretty much 3.5 castles worth of stone extra for our Chinese. 7 conversions, 3 conversions, not really playing a role. 12 raisings to 2. Also, in a 51-minute game, 12 raisings, not the craziest number. Did they ultimately? No, they didn't. So, just bracer for these Chukanus, no artillery. Oh my God, artillery. I always confuse artillery for the Turks and rocketry for the Chinese. No rocketry that would have taken these guys to add another +2 and then 9 seconds away from chemistry. So actually they were all very close to at least having a 12 attack on that first arrow. But can you imagine a 14 attack on an archer unit? That is just a ridiculous attack. That's like medium cavalry almost. I mean, look at the cavalier attacks on a 14. So fully upgraded Chukanu attacks the same as this Cavalier, who, to be fair, doesn't have Blast Furnace. So maybe not the best comparison, but it's still, bottom line, a very powerful foot archer unit. And I do apologize. We'll have seen the first half of this battle picture in picture, but look at all the dead bodies on the dance floor. What an absolute fantastic game. And it's not every day that Mr. Yo just gets overwhelmed by a opposing player, or I guess an opponent would have been the better way to say it. But look at this. I mean, Vivi must have seen the goal. I was going to give the biggest of thumbs up to Vivi because I thought he was living my principle that if you can take the riskier resources first, take them first and then get the ones that are safest. But mamma mia, he didn't even see the gold that was in his base. You know what? Maybe this is why he felt like he had to expand out onto the map to get the gold up here, to get the stone piles up here. Maybe this is why he felt the need for, I don't want this to sound too cliche, the need for speed. By the way, this shadow kind of looks like a demon, no? Like a big demon nose and a big demon ear and a big demon lips. Doesn't this look like demonic a little bit? Scary. But in any event, I can't believe he hasn't even seen his tertiary gold. Yikes. But yikes, yikes with an asterisk, because at the end of the day, Vivi with the map control, Vivi with the non-stop aggression. How many times did he shove scouts into the back of Mysterio's base? How many times did he shove knights into the rear of the base? How many times did he repel Mysterio's attempt at an attack? And by the way, disproving one of my biggest points when I talk about anyone fighting a Mesociv, that you have to wall up galore, because the last thing you want is a 100 HP Eagle. Did he even get to 100 HP Eagle? No, he didn't. Mysterio just didn't have the time. I mean, he had decent resources, but not really the time or the presence or even the really the structures needed. I wonder if that forward castle was a big mistake by him, committing to a second castle, losing 83% of the stone of that castle. Must have hurt, especially when you then had to buy a bunch of stone to get this backup castle up. But when you're fighting against the Mesociv, you need to wall off your base, unless perhaps you're the one who is putting on all of the aggression with a castle to the left, a castle to the right, Trebs, Chukanus, Cavaliers, all the heavy hitters of your civilization. And Vivi just shows us an absolute epic masterclass of just nonstop. I'm surprised that their APMs are this low, to be honest. I'm actually like literally surprised that their APMs are that low. 80s, 70s, 60s. I mean, this seems like it should be much higher. They were both microing multiple fronts at once. But wow, what an absolute fun game. Vivi showing us that you may not always necessarily need to wall up against the Meso Eagle, especially if you're the one who is non-stop trying to break into their base. And the Mayan, who had 50% discounted walls, at the end of the day, built this one wall segment. I'll never tire of complaining and lamenting for my, my theoretical ivory tower where I as a caster sit, that the Mayan players never fully use that wall off discount for stone walls. Palisades, of course, everyone does Palisades regardless of any kind of discount. But when you have 50% off, the Goths and the Cumans must be looking at you and shaking your head saying, you have it, but you don't even use it. And with that, unfortunately, Mysterio just does not defend the forward portion of his base. It crumbles to the onslaught of the Chinese military. Vivi with map control, with army, with never-ending pokes and prods and small engagements all over the place, takes the W. But GG in an amazingly fun game to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.